Hello and welcome to Dan Talks United. So we're back here again. Another game. It's Manchester United versus Sunderland this time at Old Trafford. Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. The blackout time, so it's not live on the mainstream TV as normal. So what do we think? Put your comments below. What do you think's going to happen? Are we going to win this game? As the title says, it's do or die. Do you feel that Amorim should get a chance still if we was to lose this game? It sounded like Sir Jim Ratcliffe is backing Amorim because they've significantly backed him in terms of the transfer this summer and the amount of money that was spent, especially on the front three. So it looks like he wants to give him to at least the end of the season. Obviously, if results are horrendous and we're looking like relegation, I'm sure there'll have to be a change. But put your comments below. What do you think? Do you think we're going to win this game? And if we lose it, what do you think should happen next? Do we persevere or do we look for another coach? So we'll recap on the last game. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I think we all know what happened. We visited Brentford at the GTEC Stadium, ended up 3-1. As I said before, at the time, obviously I had at least a week or so to calm down a bit. But again, just not what I expected. I thought after that Chelsea game, we were going to kick on and really start to get a run together. And as we keep saying, allow the United Strand guy to cut his hair at some point, but it's not looking that way. We just had poor build-up, just no aggression, not winning those second balls. We were making Brentford look like a good team, and they're not a good team. There was no fight, even when we went down 1-0, 2-0, you name it. Just didn't seem to be any sort of fight, resurgence, any sort of desire to turn the scoreline around. And obviously we had a chance to draw level with that penalty of Bruno. Again, as I said last time, I know that it took a long time to take the penalty. And there was some crafty tactics from their manager, subbing a couple of players on before he could take the penalty. But I still feel we've got only ourselves to blame and we should have fared way better than that. And we definitely should have won that game. Not won that game in the sense of how we played, but before the game, I think you and I would say we expected to win that game against Brentford. And obviously we conceded poor goals, in my opinion, as well. I don't think that first goal that their striker scores, Thiago, I don't see him scoring that many times. He's, for me, probably not hit it how he wanted to hit it, but it's ended up pretty much top corner, in off the post and in. He can't do that again. And that's been the case so far this season, where we're just conceding sloppy goals. What we need to do different, pretty much the opposite of what we did at Brentford, really. And I keep saying the same thing, but we just need to have better control of the ball, but also that comes hand in hand with then having better control of the game. Now, I do enjoy having more possession of the other side. It's nice stats to look at, but I can sacrifice that if I can have a win instead. But for me, a good basis is controlling that ball well, with confidence, then dictating the play, the rhythm of the game, playing at our pace. We need to have better passing, but it also needs to be simpler passing. So we don't want the Hollywood ball all the time. We don't need 50, 60 yard switches all the time. We just need to look up, see our man, who's in a better position, who's in the best position, do an easy pass and build things up, build the confidence up. Obviously that connection needs to improve between whoever's in midfield and the front three. And I think it just needs to knit together now. Obviously, these are all basics and all simple things that you and I know, but it's not what we're doing. So I have to keep mentioning it. Now, we have to get more balls in the box because Dorgu, if my memory serves me well, did put quite a nice cross into the box, which is that sort of cross you'd expect, or that sort of cross that Sesko would demand. And I think it seems like we do it once and then we don't seem to do it again. So I'm not going to take this excuse that players don't understand the system or not taking things in when you see stuff like that. And that's not really the system. That is quite basics where Dorgu, you get into space in the final third, you look up, you see that the striker's in the box or is about to emerge in the box, and you just whip a crossing. And that's not difficult. And if you do it once and the striker just misses it, it doesn't mean that you stop doing it. You've got to keep doing it, because balance of probability is you're not going to get a goal from every time you put a cross in, because there is another team there. There is some defenders in that box who's going to cut it out or put the striker off. You just got to keep going and keep trying. And for me, it's got to happen on both sides. It's got to happen on Dorgu's side, and it's got to happen on Ahmad or Dallow's side. It's got to happen on both sides. And then you've got to have it where Cunha and Mbeumo are trying to do similar. When they're in good space to cross, they've got to be doing it as well. And you've got to keep doing it and be repetitive. You look at other sides and they're doing the same good things repetitively, but they're keeping things simple. So this is what we need to start getting in to our players' heads. Lineup. I'm kind of going to go... I normally sort of do a mixture, I suppose, of what I'd say Amorim's definitely going to do and what I'd like to see. So it's going to be a little bit of that, I suppose. So I'm hearing things of Senny Lomans might get his debut. I don't know if that's true or where that information's coming from. So I'm going to go with what I'd like to see on this one and say Lomans in goals. And then Ahmad's back, I believe, in training, so I'd put him right wing back. I don't know why, but Yoro seems to be getting a bit of flack recently, but I want to see some pace but being put back in to that central centre-back's positions. So I want to see Yoro back in, right centre-back. I'd like De Ligt to take that centre-back role, because I think he's been doing well of picking up the ball from the keeper, being that extra man in midfield. I think that has worked. And then, sorry Shaw, but I don't know if he's going to be much better, but I'd like to see Heaven come in actually, purely again for the pace. Now, ultimately, I want to see Martinez back and back in that role, because he is probably the only person or the only player in the defensive positions that can play a defence splitting pass. He's got good vision. He's always looking through that to hit the ball through the lines, and I think he's the only defensive player that can do that. So I actually can't wait for him to come back, and also his aggression is much needed at the moment. So I'd give Heaven a go because of the pace element, and then Dorgu at left wing back, because pretty much that's all we've got really anyway. Then central midfield, it's going to have to be Bruno, because he's not going to get dropped anyway, and Casemiro, because he should be back now after his suspension. And then the front three for me just stays the same, and it's going to be Cunha left 10, and Mbeumo right 10, and then target man Sesko up front number 9. Mount can come on as a sub. For me, obviously his start of the season okay, he does the right things, he presses well, and he's got a lot of energy, but I'd like to see that as the starting lineup for now. I don't really have better options really for central midfield. Obviously there's argument to put Meno in there, there could be an argument to put Ugarte in there, but that's what I'd start with anyway. I haven't watched Sunderland, and I must admit this season I haven't really studied a lot of our opposition up to now, especially these promoted sides. I've seen little bits, like probably everybody else has seen on Match of the Day or any of the sort of highlights. But looking at stats and how their players have played, just to give you 3 players to watch really, because I'm not going to go through all the Sunderland team because it's a Manchester United channel. But Nordi Mukiel, I think he's a centre back. It looks like he's been playing well so far, so that's one to watch and have a look at. Granit Xhaka, who used to play for Arsenal. I'm not sure which team he went away. Did he go to Germany under Alonso? I think he went over there, didn't he? He's back in the Premier League. Seems to be playing well for Sunderland. Seems to be holding that midfield together. Another old boy, like last week when we had Jordan Henderson bossing the midfield. Will Xhaka do the same? I think Xhaka's more aggressive. To be fair, Xhaka's not a bad player really, and he will be one to look at and see who comes out on that midfield battle. So that's another one to watch. And then up front, Wilson Isidore, I think he scored in the last game that Sunderland played. I think they did win last weekend, so he's another one to watch. Predictions, always a tough one, as you've seen from other videos, but I've toyed between all sorts of results here, but I am glutton for punishment, I think. I am going to try and be positive here, purely because we are playing at home at Old Trafford, and hopefully these players will play to win, especially in front of their masses of fans at Old Trafford. And I'm going to say again, I don't foresee us getting a clean sheet because that's been very difficult for us this season. So I'm going to go with 2-1 Manchester United. Yes, you heard that right. I'm going to go with 2-1 Manchester United. Now, will we be having a rant after the game? I don't know, but I'm going to go with that. So, as always, please hit that subscribe button. It seriously doesn't cost a penny, but what it does do, it helps the channel grow, it helps our community grow, it helps me be able to do more for you guys. So please hit that button, that subscribe button. Please like, please share, and I will see you on the next one.